腰の骨を折っちゃったんだ。自転車とぶつかりそうになって転んだんだって。
何やってんだお前は。
しばらく帰れないからうちに戻って生活してくれない？
は？
大家が一緒に住む決まりになってんのよ。
チュルペンハウスってどういう意味ですか？
チュルペン、ドイツ語でチューリップのことだそうです。
美穂さん、お酒臭いですね。
客と酒飲むのが仕事なんで。
中国友達、私のことチンチン言うね。
結局中身のない空っぽのおっさんになってみんなから見捨てられて惨めな人生を終えることになるの。
就職した会社半年で辞めて同級生と劇団作っちゃいました。
小池さんって言って旦那さんの甥っ子です。無口な方でして。
ここにいる皆さんの家賃を次の契約更新から値上げするのでそのつもりで。
どうして？
中国人金持ってるでしょ。そこら中でばらまいて。お前もそろそろ結婚考えたらどうだ。
日本じゃまだ結婚できないんだ。
誰も男としろなんて言ってない。このままじゃこれっぽっちも利益にならない。
お金のためにやってるんじゃないもん。
金にもならないのに人の世話して、お前はバカか？
世の中お金が全てじゃないでしょ。
借金っていくらあるんだ？
今利息が膨らんで500万って。
500万？
法定金利以上の金利の支払い義務はないはずです。
俺はうるせえ
だからシェアハウスなんて反対だったんだ。
腹膜炎を引き起こしてたらすぐに手術しないと命が危険だよ。
中国の息子に会いたいんだろ？死んだら会えないじゃないか。
俺はまっとうな人生を送ってるよ。父さんとは価値観が違うだけだよ。
男と付き合って水商売してるようなお前の一体どこがまっとうなんだ？
人は誰もが違う色を持っている。これを機に住人と仲良くなってくれたらいいんだけど。
いつもあなたとタカちゃんのこと心配してた。
仲直りしなさいよ。
チューリップの花言葉なんだか知ってる？思いやり。
Hi everyone, welcome to Carolyn Talks. This is the podcast slash YouTube channel where I, your host, Carolyn Hayes, film critic and journalist, speak to film creatives around the world about their work, the industry, and what inspires them. And today I'm very happy to be joined by writer and actress Akiko Iwase to talk about her film A Matter of Sharing, which is it's a family drama, but it's about this gentleman Hideo, who is suddenly thrust into the position of managing his wife's homestay, which is a home where like people from like all walks of life live and rent spaces, and they share communal spaces. And it's about him learning to not only care about people but accept the differences in people, because at the beginning he has very definite ideas about culture and society and people's places in each other's lives. So it's very much about him learning to like just love people the way they are, but I think it's about building community, which I think is more important. So thank you so much for joining me to talk about the film, Akiko.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
inviting me.
Yeah, so my first question is, so like you started out, like we were talking yesterday, you said that you started out doing stage work and working as a stage actor. So talk to me about working on stage and what about that you fell in love with, and why you decided to change from working on stage to becoming a writer to then becoming a screen actor.
Okay. Well, I love stage plays because, well, I told you yesterday, the beginning of my acting career, I was doing a volunteer in Mexico, helping the children at the orphanage.
Right.
And while I was doing that, there was a theater company came to show a musical piece for kids, and those children just loved it. They were laughing and crying and smiling the whole time. And when I was looking at them, I myself had a little bit problem when I grew up. I had a little bit. I was abused by my teacher, and I had a bit problem back then. So it just reminded me of back my childhood, and I was saved by like films and those kind of things. So when I looked at the kids, and I wanted to be the person who can give this smile or emotional feelings to other people, and then I decided to be an actor. So first I started with theater, and it was more direct to the audience. You can, when you act on stage, the audience can react directly, so I can get the direct feedback from them, and that's what I liked about most on theater, and I'm still doing it. And so first I studied acting for theater, and then I started writing the script, and I made my own theater company. And then while I was doing that, one producer of the TV series came to see my play, and he asked me to write the script for the TV series. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I never really studied writing or anything, but he really liked my story, I guess. So then I started writing for a TV series, and then at the same time, I had opportunity to do the audition for some films and TV series also. But for mostly we don't, Japanese don't have that much of audition for Japanese things, Japanese productions, but we have the audition for overseas international films, and I got in. So I played in a couple of international films. So then I started acting for films and also TV series and those kind of things. So yeah, that's how I started, I guess. I didn't make sense. I'm sorry.
Because you said something I'm actually very interested in. So like the TV show, what was the premise of the first TV show?
The one I wrote?
Yeah.
It's called right now it's called Tokuso 9. It's a detective story. Yeah, and that's only for Japan.
Yeah.
TV series.
So I asked about it because like I mentioned to you yesterday, I think it's fascinating. Like you were inspired to pursue acting because you saw these kids being performed when you wanted to like be able to like provide that same kind of like emotional support and also enjoyment for an audience. And like looking at the film, like A Matter of Sharing, then your other film, Luna Maria, that you seem to be very, I got the sense that you like to observe people, and I think that's something important for actors. Actors have to be able to observe like people from like all over in like different ways, because if you're portraying a character, it has to be still sort of based on something and on someone, like even if it's not you. Like I know a lot of actors take inspiration from the people in their lives, you know, to inspire their performances. But for you as a writer, that also has to inspire you, right? Because like in A Matter of Sharing, like you have people literally from like, there's people who are gay, there's a single mother, you know, who's had to hide her son because like she's being pounded by loan sharks, you know. There's the character that you think, Kanako, who's again a single woman, and she at first, like you don't realize, you think she's just a regular woman, she's working in an office, and then she works remote sometimes. But then there's a trauma she has, and it's the trauma from the earthquake of 2011, and like that, like she looks normal to people, but then you realize that she has like a lot of trauma and all that. But then there's like the nephew of Hideo and her husband, Kyoko, and he himself is a recluse, you know, and like he is very talented. He's a doctor, but he's a writer, and like he doesn't share these things because he's kind of like folding in on himself. And you have all of these different characters and then I think for the character of Kyoko, he's like an observer of all
Kyoko
of these.
is
Hideo, sorry.
Hideo, yeah.
So that you have Hideo, who's like the observer of all of these people coming together. So like, I kind of see him as kind of like your avatar. as the writer, and so, like you, and even though you're acting within the show, but like he's kind of like the observer. So I kind of like I'm fascinated by that. So talk to me about being an observer and creating stories about that, because to be a writer of like stories, that you can observe people.
That's true. Yeah, I like to observe people, and well, I was I went to college in the States, and then also I traveled around almost 50 countries by myself sometimes, or I was backpacking in
Backpacking
Europe,
like terrifies me.
yeah, Europe and Asian countries and Africa and those kind of places. And so I just love learning other cultures, or the way of, people, different way of thinking and those kind of things. So I do like to observe, and at the same time I like to experience different culture, and talking to people.
Yeah, and the film is very much about this, and the things that when you travel to like so many different places, you get to see people in different settings, and people do different jobs and think about things differently, and that you have to be able to like dispel your preconceptions, because you have to learn to accept people wherever they go. And again, like talking about Hideo, he like, I'm always fascinated about the careers that writers choose for characters. Like that's something, because I know sometimes people that are like, I'm like, there has to be a reason you chose this particular career. Like for him, he's an accountant. So that suits his personality. Like he's very matter of fact. He likes things to be done in a very specific way. He likes to follow the rules. And in accounting, there are rules you have to follow to manage things, but because of that, it works for him and works against him when he's with the residents of the homestay, because him having the connections he has and being an analytical thinker helps him to solve problems for them. So I kind of saw that as interesting. So talk to me about creating that character.
Creating a character. I don't know how. I guess first I tried to imagine from someone around me, kind of like similar. Well, there are all these kind of people, and like again, observing people. Of course, there are good parts, and well, I don't know if I should say good or bad, but positive and negative parts all together in one person, right? And so, creating people. I really don't know how.
Do they just like come to you? You're just like, oh, you just like have a thought about it, and then, or like you see a character, a person that you say, that'd be interesting as a character.
Yeah, I guess at first. Well, I guess like I said, probably bring from someone I know, and then try to create like one person here, one person here, and then mix together and to create one person, kind of. Yeah, that's how I did.
Yeah, I guess it's just like it's just a natural progression for you, right? It's not something that you necessarily think about very analytically. You're just like, these are the characters coming to mind, so this is who I put on the page.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, so then it's saying that what about the struggles they have, like the different plot points and the struggles they have? Like for instance, your character Kanako, she works in corporate world, but she works in Japan, but she also works internationally. Like like you're an actress in Japan, but also in international projects, but she has this trauma that again only comes to light because like there is a tremor. And so like that's how it is found. We the audience and Hideo find out what her issue is. But then there's also again like there's one of the characters who works at a pub, but he's an aspiring performer, and then there's the single mother who did I get that description wrong?
Who work at the pub, it doesn't live. He's
or is it the bar?
He's a son of Hideo.
No, not Hideo. The young guy that wears The younger tenant, the one who moved into the house.
The actor.
Yes. Does he work out?
That's right. Yeah,
He works out part-time?
Oh,
Yeah, I remember. Right.
I don't remember. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he has a part-time job.
Right, but he's an aspiring performer like you, right? So like, but then there's all these stripes that they're having, you know, and there's all these things, and Hideo doesn't only get to learn from them; they get to learn from each other, you know, like, and because they're all younger than him, they have more progressive ways of thinking. But I think what's interesting is that they learn that even as a progressive thinker, there's still things that they need to learn to accept about people, and they have to learn to accept him too.
Right.
You know. So I want to ask you just about creating the scenarios for each of them. Because like for instance, like your character Kanako, she's interesting because she's the one that's almost a bit more mysterious than the others. Because you know what I mean? Like she's the one like she because she doesn't really interact with the other. Like she's there, she's washing dishes, she eats food, but then she goes up to her room. You know, where the others kind of interact a bit more, right? So your character is the one that kind of goes in and out the play a lot. So like why did you was it the director that wanted you to play her, or did you decide that when you were writing her that you saw yourself in my
Actually, I forgot to tell you, but this one, this story is based on the play I wrote.
Right, yes, you right. I didn't mention that at the beginning, but yeah, it's based on the stage play. Yeah, you told me that yesterday, but I forgot to mention it, right?
Yeah. So in the play, it's more a little bit different story. Well, the whole thing is not that big difference, but my character is a little different in the play, and I changed to that character because then when we were talking about making a movie, then I'm going to play that role. Right. So maybe I should adjust a little bit to kind of like similar to myself.
Oh, okay.
So that's one thing. But what was the question?
But what is it that made like how you decide the different scenarios for the different characters? Like her secret is the trauma from the earthquake, and you know.
Yeah. Well, when I was writing the script, or before I wrote the script, I went to different sharing houses. Share houses to interview people and see what it's like. And some of the characters were the real actual story I heard from the people who were living.
So there's there's a moment in the film, it's very meta, where like the same guy who's aspiring to be an actor, he read a story about someone that's like an outside observer about the things happening in the house. It's kind of like a meta thing. So like you're talking about the play within the film, and then you're talking about that you're observing within the film, which is such an interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of meta.
Yeah. Well, that's not like based on the true story.
I know, right?
But yeah.
It's kind of like that effect of when you put two mirrors opposite each other, you get like a continuous infinity mirror. So it's kind of like that. Because then within that story that he's reading, there's someone talking about the film.
Right.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So you observe all of these people, and that's what gives you the ideas for the characters.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so talk to me about. So you talked about changing your character from the stage version to the film version. Talk to me about the process, the overall process of converting a stage play to a screenplay. Okay. So for the play, mostly the dialogues are very important because the setting is only in the living room, and the biggest difference is that. In the play, the Kyoko, Hideo's wife, doesn't appear. She wouldn't appear. I mean, the story of the play starts when right after Kyoko got in the hospital. He got hurt and then hospitalized, and so that's when the story starts. So she doesn't appear at all, but.
to make the movie, then the director said, "Well, that doesn't happen. We have to have Kyoko in the film." So that's the biggest difference, I think. And also, the dialogue is very important, like I said, and a lot, almost in the theater, you have to have dialogue. In a whole story, but to make it into movie script, you have to eliminate all the dialogues and then write down what do you call it, plot?
We would call it the plot.
So the plots are more important than, well, not, I shouldn't say more, but try to eliminate most of the dialogues and then explain the things, what's happening in the plot. And also the setting can change, in hospital to share house and living room and outside and all that stuff. But in the play, it's all in one situation, one living room. So I guess it's for me. I thought the film script was easier because you don't have to think. So this person has to come in at this certain time. So you have to make up the reason for him to come in and or someone to go out, and that's the hardest part of the play script. But for film, you can just if you want to have the different situation, then you can just switch to the different settings and scenes and stuff. So I thought it was easier, but actually the plot is so important, and you have to explain all the things, and so that's not what I was used to writing for plays so much. Because for the play, plot isn't that much important. You can, because you have the rehearsal times and you can just kind of create it there. But for films, you go there and maybe 1 or 2 times you just do it, and then boom, you have to film it. So that's the biggest difference, I think.
What is it like for you to be able to play characters that you create yourself?
Many people ask me that, but for me, right after I wrote the script, then I forgot. I forget about it. I'm gonna be just an actor, not a writer, and on set once I in a set. So because directors or other actors kind of feel weird if I'm there as a writer. So I started as an actor, so be on the set, then I'm just one of the actors, not anybody else, so I can just play whatever is written.
And so I think we will have to. But no. So my last question for you is: now that you've done 2 projects, Luna Maria, which is we call it a mid-length film, and A Matter of String is a full-length film. How has this is something I'd like to ask filmmakers, because I find like the filmmaking process is such a lengthy process, and so much things change over the course of that time. What has for you changed about the way you look at film versus how you look at stage productions changed over the years? Like from when you first started, you perhaps had this one idea about film and one idea about stage, but now that you've had so many years and so many experiences working not only in Japan but in other international projects, what has changed for you the most?
For creating process?
For the creative process and as well as the performing process.
What has changed? I don't know. But for me, I always want to do theater. I want to continue, but at the same time, film has more a lot of possibilities, you know, to well, you can create different type of things, and with technologies, you know, of course, and well, it's growing, I guess.
Yeah, it's changing so rapidly.
Yeah,
like,
and also the platform is changing, online streaming and all that stuff. So, yeah, I do want to challenge more different things, and like, of course, I want to do co-production and things like that. But for play, it's more like a, how to say that? It's should I say classic?
Yeah, no, I think that works. Yeah.
It's always down to an earth type of thing, and it's my base thing. So I do want to continue doing the play, but at the same time I want to do more work more internationally on the film business. So I don't know if did it answer my question?
No, you did. I'm always so tickled when people ask me, did I answer your question? No, you did.
Okay.
So my very last question is, are you working on any current productions? Like, are you working on any scripts or screenplays for a stage production? Anything?
Right
new
now?
Film? Yeah. Are you like creating a new story?
Yes. So I'm writing one play for a different theater company. So I'm not going to be in that, but I'm just a writer for that, and also making some movie for the one I want to produce, and then of course I'm going to be starting. Yeah, so that's two things I'm working on right now.
I'm gonna keep my eye. I might not be able to see the stage play if I have. Well, you never know if I get to Japan and be able to see the stage play. But I'll definitely keep an eye out for your next film project. Thank you so much for taking the time for speaking to me, Akiko.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.